Hey, what's up, guys? On my way to the Emirates, and the team sheet's out, and there's a little smile on my face because it's good that Xhaka is not even on the bench. They're saying he's ill, but basically we all know that he's signed a deal, and he'll probably be gone next month. And I think that it's time for us to look past that. For all you Xhaka fans out there, let me just bury this for you, yeah? Since Arteta left the team and Xhaka was brought in to the central midfield role, and Cazorla had gone, we have not made the top four. Don't for 1 minute you think that Xhaka is the answer to getting this team back into the Champions League, because he isn't. And that's been made evident because we've had 3 years of that. Time for us to go into a different direction. So in comes Guendouzi, 20 years old, who has actually been on the bench for a while. He's been resting because we played him a lot throughout the first part of the season. But this is a new role for him as the holding midfielder next to Torreira. So it'd be good to see how they're going to use him in this new setup. Remember, tactically, we really don't know where Arteta is at the moment. We're really just going for effort and working hard off the ball and being able to press as a team. We're just trying to get that balance and structure at the moment. So he's really been brought in to fit into that role, and he has a lot more range than what Xhaka has. Yeah, so still no Pepe. One has to wonder what Pepe has to do to get into this team. I did say before in my last video that whatever he's doing, he's not doing it in training. Yeah, whatever he's doing, he's not showing Arteta that he can adapt to whatever they're asking him to do. And that's on Pepe. Yeah, we can say what we want, but that's on Pepe. If you're not doing your work at London Coney at the training ground, don't expect to be put on the team sheet. And that's as far as I'm going to leave it on Pepe. However productive he's been, he has to show that he's willing to work hard and do what he needs to do. And listen, Nelson, regardless of his final ball and how poor that was against Bournemouth, he was quite heady, he was putting himself about, he was working hard off the ball and pressing, and that's what the manager needs. So as long as those type of things are being met by the player, he will continue to be on this team sheet. And look, Saka is still at the left back. So one can even argue that Saka might be an option there. But you can see Arteta's trying to keep the core players intact and intertwined in the setup. He wants to keep that Ozil, Laka and Aubameyang threesome in the team, because that is where you can get the best out of your team as far as scoring goals. Look, there's no doubt about it. Ozil's status as a number 10, both Lacazette and Aubameyang have been 30+ goal scorers in previous years. So there would be no reason for you to leave them out of the team. You have to find a way to get it working. That's what let Emery down, yeah? When Emery made that commitment to try and get these things working, it just didn't work. That is Arteta's job. Fix that puzzle and you would have fixed everything. Socrates makes way for Callum Chambers as well. I find it interesting because with Callum Chambers, you're literally, not guaranteed, but you're literally halfway there to getting clean sheets. He's been a stud since he's been playing. It's for Arteta to find out what best combination will get the best out of him, whether it's the leadership or stability from either Socrates or Luiz. And at the moment he's going with Luiz, and that's probably something that I would agree with as well. And Rob Holding is still so far back, I'm not really sure what's going on with him. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Rob Holding over the Christmas period. So guys, I'll leave it right there. It's Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0, half time, and it's been a very refreshing half. Arteta, first of all, I need to put a big shout out to him. Arteta has spent the entire first half standing up, trying to keep the shape. He has not sat down on the bench once. I don't think that's something I've ever seen at the Emirates Stadium. It's a first for me. But it just goes to show you the commitment that the coach has got really to get this thing right. And boy, are they getting it right. The players are completely 100% reacting to everything Arteta's telling them to do. And I think that Nelson is really, really committed himself today. So was, in many ways, Ozil as well. That link up that Ozil is really helping Nelson gets things done on that right-hand side. Saka's been solid on the left, and he's been backtracking and watching the long balls going through to William. It's very difficult for him to track at times, But he's getting a lot of support from Aubameyang. The captain has now got 13 goals. It was a well-taken goal as well from Aubameyang. But he's going back there and he's trying to cut out passes, intercept, and give Sacco the support down the left that he needs. Guys, this whole team is working well together. They are pressing well. It's probably one of the best shapes that I've seen since the 1-0 win here at home at Bournemouth. So I really like what I see at the moment. It's a situation where the attitude and the commitment is 100% right. The players are going into every challenge. They're winning 50-50 balls. They're getting in Chelsea's faces and they're not giving them time to settle at all. I don't think Chelsea's sprung 2 or 3 passes together in the whole of the first half. They have just not got going because Arsenal have unsettled them. And that is what Arteta means when he says we're going to be aggressive, we're going to take the game to the other team. That's exactly what his team is showing today. Arsenal's fully committed in terms of taking the ball by the horns and running with it. And it's a very, very, very good display from them. Shame about what happened with Callum Chambers. He collided with Abraham's and it looked like it was his knee, and he was able to walk off under his own power as well. So that's a good thing. The last thing I want to talk about in the first half is the fans. The fans have reacted again to the players and the way that they're playing, and that is something I talked about in my video this morning. I was really having a go at the fans in order to get behind the team and show their support, and that's exactly what they've done. It couldn't have been any better today. The way that the fans were screaming, chanting, cheering, and it just is something that is giving the players an extra buzz, and it's also something that Arteta's been looking for as well. So massive commitment and well done to the fans for that. And listen, second half is coming up. Hopefully we'll be able to see this one out. Peace. Hey guys, Arsenal lose this one 2-1, and after 82 minutes they were well on top, although one can be said that the second half Chelsea came out with purpose. And look, Chelsea are a quality team. They're fourth in the division, and it was just a matter of time before they came alive. And also the intensity and everything that we pushed into the first half just really caught up with us. I thought a few of our legs had gone. Some fantastic performances in the first half. Let's take nothing away from them, guys. Arsenal put in a shift and looked much better than what I thought that they was. Arteta had a job to try and get these guys working in the second half, and we just really couldn't string it together. I thought we really struggled to get a hold on the game. As soon as Ozil went off and Willock came on, I think that's where we completely lost our shape. Going forward, we just couldn't really string passes together. Willock had a chance as soon as he came on, and had he buried that, it would have been a different result. In fact, Willock was he looked kind of wasted for most of the time that he was on the field. And then Leno absolutely woofed on a corner, completely missed the ball, and that's what really done us in. Regardless of what had happened, the second goal, Mustafi just backing off, sitting off, completely no commitment at all to get into the attackers and disrupt their flow, and then Abrahams goes in, turns on him, and then obviously slots into the back of the net. It's pretty much 2 goals in a few minutes for Chelsea to put them back in this game, and it's not really undeserved. And I think a lot of people are going to be hard on Arsenal because of this second half latter performance, but Arsenal really committed themselves well today, and it's a real shame that the result is what it is, because I thought that this is the reaction that we wanted to see. The manager, Arteta, not one point was he in his chair, because he was working hard to get them guys going, and I think that is just really unfortunate to have the result the way it was. It's not what any of us wanted. The team really needs a lift, and then 3 losses at home in a row. It's not the most enjoyable experience to go through, but as I said before, this team's hurting and they need a support, and that was one thing the Wired fans was doing today. I thought the fan base was fantastic. They really committed themselves and was hearing voice. By the way, the Southgate here was closed down. Here there's some structural problems, and that's the reason why everyone's having to take a different route out of the stadium. There was always going to be a factor where Chelsea was going to come into the second half, and there was always going to be dangerous at some point. We'd applied so much pressure onto them in the first half, and we stopped them from playing. And with something like that, you can't keep that up. And you could see that we were losing a little bit of our legs as well in the second half. But the last 8 minutes just really done us in. And even after the substitutes came on, they made no impact whatsoever. As I said, had Willock scored that goal, it would have completely changed the face of the game. And the mistake that Leno made, you just can't account for those things. So again, serial offenders here. Mustafi backing off. When you take Callum Chambers, who would have really never sat back and allowed Abrahams to turn him on like that, Mustafi did, and that's the reason why Mustafi's not a starter. That's the reason why Mustafi is on the bench, and he probably won't be on the team next year. Arteta knows that, and he's just working with the cards that he's dealt at the moment. So listen, let's take this one on the chin, guys. Well done for the support today, and listen, we fight again for the next one. I don't think the Man United game's going to be any easier. In fact, I don't even think we'll beat Man United, but this was a game that really showed some change in our philosophies and our commitment, and it's just a real shame that we've got to sit here now and understand that they're not going to get anything from this game, not even a point. So it's a real shame, but there we have it, guys. Right, speak to you guys later, man. Peace.